The New York Knicks and Indiana Pacers are now in the conference finals. It's locked. It's going to be happening next Wednesday. I cannot believe that these are the two teams that make the conference finals, because everyone was like, oh, Cavs Celtics lock, easy. Both those guys lost. How did we get here? How did we get to where we have the Knicks and the Pacers, a rivalry from like 30 years ago, where one of the players' dads was on the team? Like, how do we get that now? The Pacers played the Bucks in round 1, beat them in 5. Played the Cavs round 2, sort of a good team. One of the teams that I thought was going to be able to hit 70 wins this season, but then decided towards the end of the year to not play too many guys, took some L's, rest some guys. That didn't end up mattering. Probably should have taken the 70 wins, but maybe you also didn't want to be a 70-win team just to lose in the second round. Maybe it won't look great. So they beat the Cavs in 5. And for the Knicks, they beat the Pistons in 6 and then beat the defending champions in 6. And I know there's going to be some people who are saying injuries. I don't think that matters, because first of all, what are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to be like, JT's injured. Everyone pack it up. Give it to the Celtics, bro. Give it to Boston. They deserve that. No, especially for this Knicks team. These boys are playing 45 minutes a game in the playoffs, especially in the playoffs. Pacers are second in points per game in the playoffs so far, with teams remaining with 117.7 points per game. First in field goal percentage with 50% from the field. Fourth in three-pointers made with 141 three-pointers made. And first in three-point percentage at 40.6. So obviously going in, we knew that this Pacers offense was going to be cracked out of the gills, bro. They're fourth in threes made, and they're shooting those threes at a 40% clip. So top 5 in three-pointers made, first in percentage. That's absolutely lethal. And I was doing some research and stuff. They haven't really attempted more than 30, 35 a game. You go look, and I think they shot 15 for 35 in like back-to-back games. That's really, really good. That's about 40%. Then they shot like 19 for 36, I believe, one game. So they shoot very, very well. Looking at the Knicks stats, they don't have any of that. They're 5th in three-pointers made with 137, so right underneath. But what do they have? Well, they do have Jalen Brunson, clutch player of the year, 5th in scoring in the playoffs, 5th in assists. Cat is 5th in rebounding. So they got these guys who are definitely up top. And we'll talk about a depth chart later, 100%, because I want to be able to talk about who's going to win this series. And you look at all the players and who I would take. Yeah, like I said, the Pacers don't shoot a ton. It's not like they're, oh my gosh, we're shooting 53s a game, 63s a game like the Celtics. 30, 35 threes a game, which is not that insane. And that's good to note, is that a really, really good three-point shooting team and shooting at a good clip. Overall, I mean, in points, field goal percentage, like I talk about, three-point percentage, they're all over the board. And they're one of the final 4 teams left. They're going to be one of those 4 teams. And I started to notice a trend about offenses beating defenses. And I made a video, I can't remember in which series I was talking about it, but I said, hey, is it easier to be a good offense and a bad defense and, you know, have the will to be a better defense and bring that up in the playoffs? Or would you rather be a good defense and not have a good offense and try and will and like, oh, we got to have just good shooting? What's easier? We've seen now, statistically, it is like law. It is easier to go into the playoffs this year specifically to have a better offense and to will that defense up. And it makes sense. Let me tell you about it. 8 out of the top 10 defenses in the regular season are now not in the playoffs anymore. The only 2 that are remaining are OKC at number 1 and Minnesota at number 6. Everybody else, Boston, Cleveland, Orlando, Houston, LA Clippers. Who else was there? I think Memphis was somewhere around there. All those guys are out. And the better offensive teams, Denver, 4th in offense, Pacers, these teams ended up winning. They're winning games. So, and that makes a lot more sense, because when you think about it, you as a team, if you got that depth and if you just got that overall grit and you're a solid team, it makes more sense that you can effort it up and will your way to having a better defense in terms of effort and trying hard, all that stuff, all that good basketball stuff. You can do that on defense, where you just say, man, I'm going to have the energy to go on defense. You can't really like will your way to scoring, if that makes sense. Not in the same way you can on defense, right? And I'm not a basketball coach. I'm going to say that right now. I just make videos on the internet about basketball. That's what I noticed. When you have 8 out of the top 10 defensive teams that are just out, it starts to make you wonder about, does defense win championships? I mean, let's talk about it, Nico. Let's talk about it. 8 out of the top 10 defenses are gonzo, and they're being replaced by these high-octane offensive teams. Now, I've been very critical of high-octane offensive teams in the past. 2023, I talk about this all the time because now it's in the past. 2023 Kings, they were the 3rd seed. They had the best offensive rating in the history of the NBA, and people were like, man, good offense is going to go crazy. Now that I look back on it, they didn't really have the star power that they needed. I mean, Fox and Sabonis, they were good, but they were not what they needed to be. And they matched up with Steph Curry in the first round, and it was just, right? So I have been critical about high offenses. But now that we see that with good depth and the better star power, I'd take Halliburton over Fox, obviously, to this day. These are just good teams. These 4 teams that are left, and we'll include OKC and Denver because they're going to get done tomorrow. These 4 teams that are left are good teams. So it's just crazy to see that many defensive teams are gone, right? So who wins the series? And this is where we're going to talk about the depth chart. This might be controversial, but this is me. I don't know what this specifically is, if it's all these players' careers or if it's just a season. It's a mix of everything, right? Tyrese Halliburton, to me, is the best player in this series. And it's not by a lot. Don't get twisted, New York fans. I'm on your side, bro. I want the Knicks to win. We'll talk about that in a sec. Jalen Brunson's a very, very good player. Tyrese Halliburton was on the Olympic team. Very, very good player. Wheeled his team last year to the conference finals, right? Very, very good player. Awesome player. Then it's here, and then it's right here is Jalen Brunson. And it's Jalen Brunson, Cat. Then I got Siakam above Bridges and OG. Then it's Josh Hart. Then it's Miles Turner. Then it's the rest of the Pacers guys. Because the Knicks don't have that depth. They have that 5, 6-man, 7-man. Mitchell Robinson actually did pretty good last series. And Deuce McBride's been pretty solid, right? So the Knicks are finding some guys to come off the bench. But the Pacers got guys out the wazoo off the bench, right? So that's the depth chart for that. And you could absolutely convince me for Jalen Brunson being the best player in the series. I just feel like Tyrese overall, in terms of a number 1 option, I think he's a better number 1 option than Jalen Brunson is. And that's comes off as rough, but I hope if you watch the NBA, you could see what I'm saying. So that doesn't matter a whole ton because I think the Knicks are going to win this freaking series. I got them in 6. Knicks in 6. It rhymes. Is it exactly what I think? Do I think it's probably going to end up being 7? Yeah. Knicks in 6 because it rhymes. Let's go. Do I think that the New York Knicks, looking forward, are going to be able to win the finals? It depends on who wins tomorrow. At 1:30 my time, I think I'm Mountain Time. I think it's 12:30 Pacific, which is crazy. Early game. The only game we got left, and it's a 1:30 game, is ridiculous. So if OKC loses tomorrow, Game 7 at home, we have Denver left. We have Denver, Minnesota. I don't even know what's going to be going on there if Minnesota beats them, and then we got Minnesota, New York, which would be crazy. That's a video for a different day. But despite that, OKC loses, right? And I want OKC to win. But if OKC loses and Denver wins, then the Knicks have home court advantage over everybody else in the playoffs. Because they're the 3 seed. Denver's the 4 seed. Minnesota's the 6 seed. And Pacers the 4 seed. So we're going to have a Game 7 in New York, potentially, in the finals. Could you imagine Game 7 in New York in the finals? Wow. So that gives the Knicks a giant boost. That's why I have them in here, is because they're going to have to play Game 1 and 2. And the Pacers have done very good at winning games on the road. Better go into MSG for a conference finals for the first time in 30-something years. That crowd is going to be insane. Insane. So I think they're going to win. It's going to be hard to overcome New York at home. I think they're going to win in 6. It's going to be back and forth, but I think all they need to do is just win 1 game on the road, 2 at home, steal 1 maybe, and then go back home, win 1, and maybe it's 2-2 and win Game 5, and then you go back to Indiana and close it out. That seems like a harder scenario. Maybe winning 1 in the first 2. That would be crazy. But yeah, you got to beat this team 4 times. That's been a kind of a meme over this course of the playoffs. Hey man, they beat us once. You got to beat us 4 times. Yeah, they did, Jaylen Brown. They beat you 4 times. So another thing that I want to talk about is the Pacers' youth. Knicks are one of the older teams-ish. The Pacers are the 5th youngest team that are in the playoffs this year. They're behind OKC, Detroit, Memphis, and Orlando. And then it's Indiana. People don't talk enough about this young core. They got some guys. Tyrese Halliburton's young. Miles Turner's a little bit older, but then you got like Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Ben Mathurin. Siakam's a little bit older, but you got a lot of these young guys who people always talk about this. Oh man, OKC is really good. This Detroit core is really good. Memphis, Orlando, like all these guys are really good. Indiana's like right next to those guys. And these guys have been in the conference finals back-to-back years. None of these teams have been in the conference finals this decade. So, I mean, I don't, it's crazy to look at that, right? So my verdict, Knicks in 6. We're going to have to see how the first game goes. It's going to be on Wednesday. Still don't know why they're having Minnesota play the winner of game 7 the day before the series that has been set for already like 2 days. A lot of rest for the East Coast guys. But yeah, Knicks in 6. So expect a video on Monday talking about the game that happened on Sunday and the kind of a preview for the Western Conference Finals on Tuesday. Starting on Tuesday, it's gonna be crazy games. Yeah, dude. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate that. I got a lot of members only content as well. If you like my videos, a lot of members only content that I'm doing, that I have been doing, and is gonna start coming out, and is gonna start coming out in the future. Only $2 a month. I lowered it to $2 a month. So really support me and really help me out. I think that'd be really dope if you guys did that. I got a whole playlist of videos that's popping on screen right now to show you guys what I've talked about the whole 2025 season. So if you haven't seen those, go check those out. That's all I got for today.